can't mistreat a good man and then be shocked when he stops being good to you. A good man, he'll take a lot. He'll be patient when you're difficult. He'll stay calm when you push his buttons. And because he keeps showing up, you think he's never going to leave. But what you don't understand about good men is that they don't leave loud. They leave quiet. One day he just stops caring. That's a man who finally accepted that his peace is worth way more than your approval. Good men don't turn bad. They just stop being good to people who punish them for being that way. And that's not a character flaw. That's a man who finally learned that loyalty without boundaries is just self-destruction.
I often get asked, where are all the good guys? There are no more good guys out there. Good guys don't exist. This is becoming a bit of a theme lately. Now, as a psychotherapist, I can confirm that there are many great guys out there. I've had them sat in my office and I have worked with them. The problem is the great guys, the good, kind, caring, authentic guys, tend to get caught up in toxic relationships, often with narcissists. So these guys are difficult to track down because they've often been pinned down and they've been so that they're not able to get out of that relationship and understand and get into a healthy relationship. These guys do exist, but sometimes, ladies, you've just got to be patient.
This woman said something very controversial. I believe her name is Amira. She said basically that women are useless to men nowadays. Back in the day when men got married, women served some kind of value. She had purity, would be often loyal, she had a skill. She could mend clothes, cook lavish meals, make things from scratch. Nowadays, men can do those kind of things themselves. They don't really need women to do these things. What women bring nowadays is stress and bills. You have to pay for her lifestyle, cater to her needs, while she doesn't have to really bring anything at all. Ask her to bring something to the table is misogyny. And a lot of men agreed. They're like, I don't have anybody, but I broke up with my ex, my money went up, my stress went down. So it got me thinking, in general, what do women bring to men that doesn't add extra stress and bills to their lives? They say if a man wants to save money, he should stay single. If a woman wants to save money, she should get in a relationship. But what do you guys think?
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video. You know, it really does get old to continue to have all of these double standards. And modern women want this type of treatment. They don't want to have to cater to a man, but they want a man to cater to them.
It's me again. I just want to let you know that if you're the only single friend in your friend group, it might be time to make some new friends. I know you're loyal and I know that it feels like you shouldn't do that, but you should, because you need people that understand the season that you're in. Married people forget. They forget what it's like to go on bad dates. They forget what it's like to be in situationships. They forget what it's like to go home to an empty house. Not because they're bad, but because they're in a new season. And so you are going to get your feelings hurt if you're the only single friend. People are going to be busy with building their family and we're pregnant again and you're just going to be left out. And so yes, be friends with married folks. In fact, they have great metrons and spheres of influence. Go to their dinner parties, meet quality people, but have at least a few friends that understand the season that you're in. A few friends that can help you, commiserate with you if necessary. You don't need 20, but you need a few. And if you don't have them, go make them.
I don't know what female needs to hear this today, but we're dating the masculine men. We're dating the masculine men. Do you know how much peace you're going to feel by dating a guy that allows you to turn your brain off when you're with him? Opens the door for you, carries your luggage, allows you to exist in your feminine energy. Do you know feminine energy is the most powerful energy in the world? I always thought I'm a strong, independent woman, and I was always existing in my masculine energy. Now, I exist in my feminine energy. I receive. I let him take care of me. I let him provide. I don't want to lead the way. I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to use my brain every second. I want to relax. I want to be peaceful. We bring way too much to the table to also be leading the way for men.
A lot of these modern women are asking for a provider man, a traditional man, that sort of type of romance, right? But then you're not really going to love and respect a man like he's asking for. You're not even going to be doing 25% of that.
You know what nobody tells women? That we're allowed to have bad days without turning them into a full-blown crisis. When you're having a bad day, suddenly everything from your past comes rushing back. But here's what I need you to understand. Having a bad day doesn't mean you have a bad life. Feeling low today doesn't erase everything good that exists. You don't need to analyze why you feel this way. You don't need to trace it back to your childhood or find some deep meaning in it. Sometimes you're just having a bad day, and that's completely okay. Life isn't about being happy all the time. So on days like this, stop pressuring yourself. Don't force productivity. Don't overthink it. Just give yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling. Read a book, watch your comfort show, lie in bed if that's what you need. Listen to your body. Do what brings you peace.
Your husband ain't your business. Over the last couple of days, I've given you 2 steps to change the dynamics in your marriage. Glow up and get quiet. As a wife who used to think I had to do the most, I think I better give you step 3. Get you some business. When I was growing up, I used to try to tell my grandmother not to drink her E&J. She would tap me on the hand and say, "Girl, get you some business." Meaning, get out of mine and mind yours. As wives, we make the mistake of centering our husbands. It becomes all about him, what he wants, what he's thinking, what he needs, what his mood is. Him, him, him. So focused on his life, we forget about our own. Getting you some business means turning your focus back to yourself, taking him out the center and putting yourself there, focusing on your own passions, your own desires, your own life. You want to change the dynamic in your marriage? Glow up, get quiet, and get you some business. Got it? Good. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments.
And what modern women continue to try to do to men is they try to, oh, well, I'm just going to dump this on him, and I want him to do this, and I want him to do that. Well, no, we're not going to do that. You're going to be helping in this relationship. You're not going to dump everything on me and have me stressed out. And then when I get home from work, you're going to be all up in my face, adding more problems to my plate? No.
I'm asking you serious girl questions. You work at the post office.
All right.
We talking about getting a real estate license. You're talking about being retired by 40. And I'm asking you simply how much money you need. You say, I don't know.
All right. To retire, hopefully $700,000.
What? You plan on 58 years old? God damn. But you know that the average retiree is going to need about $1.9 million to live on between 65 and 85. How you plan on doing it on $700,000 for 40 years? Man, whoever dating this chick, man, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I mean, it's not cool that y'all come on here thinking it's just a game. She belongs to the streets.
I'm not thinking it's a game. I want you to tell me. You obviously just told me, so.
Man, you working at the post office talking about you got people paying your bills. You're going to get a real estate license and make so much money in a few years that you can retire on the beach.
I love how women talk about how they mess things up with a good guy simply because he made one mistake, or even she broke up with him for literally no reason. Yes, women do that. I hear about it. And then as they're dating other guys, they realize that he invested way more in her that other guys have not. So she's realizing that he was a genuinely good man. He put in so much for her, and she realizes it, but she's too stubborn to go back to him. This could be for many reasons, but at the end of the day, she regrets losing him. So instead of coming back to him, she's going to numb her pain by getting with multiple guys, and when that doesn't work, guess what she finally does? If you guys would like personal advice, it'll be in my bio.
You know, a lot of these guys out here, because women are upset that men have stopped approaching, men have stopped initiating, men have stopped chasing, men don't court anymore. Well, they stopped initiating because all you wanted to do was be disrespectful. All you wanted to do was make it your mission in life to be silly when he tried to do that for you. No, I'm going to go do something else with my time.
When the man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start to say stuff like this. How are you? Good. I ain't good, but I just ain't telling you. Women, let me tell you something. Men are not emotionless. We have deep emotions. We just don't know how to express them. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. If I tell you something in a moment of vulnerability and you use it against me in an argument, you can forget me talking to you forever. And you keep talking about he quiet, he shut down, he's in his man cave, he won't open up, because when he did open up, you shut the door on him.
Tell me if I'm wrong. After 30, a woman's value plummets rapidly. Women do this openly, yet they remain oblivious to how little value they hold for men compared to the value they assign to themselves.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, after 30, a woman's value plummets rapidly. By 40, it vanishes completely. Even so, women still presume that men aren't good enough for them. They end up alone, wondering where all the men have gone. They were there, but you were too busy thinking you were too good for them. They married other women, had children, and built lives for themselves. Now you are middle-aged and alone, still talking about how no man is good enough for you. Some women need to set their arrogance aside and try to build a life together, not just make demands. Start talking about what you can do for them, not about what a man needs to possess just to be accepted into your life. Who knows? Maybe then you'll actually land a man.
So a lot of these modern women like to mock a man for being chivalrous, which just really goes to show how immature and just stupid. That's what it is, man. You don't want to be mean, but a lot of these modern women are showing that they're emotionally stunted. I mean, a lot of these modern women are stupid, man. They just do a lot of dumb stuff. A lot of dumb stuff.
Is cheating really a thing? I mean, come on. If someone promises you that all of this area here is going to be only for them, they're lying. I know that for women, they're like, oh no, he's going to be mine forever. It's like, who the fuck are you fooling?
So everyone's cheating.
If you say you're going to save all of this area for one person, you are cheating on yourself.
If you have no integrity, just say that. If cheating wasn't a real thing, why does it absolutely destroy people when it happens to them? Why does it hurt so much? Also saying that you're saving yourself for one person is cheating on yourself, excuse me? It's a choice. It's a choice to be committed to one person. And that also shows that your loyalty means something. And that's strength and not weakness. Not everybody cheats. There's a ton of loyal people out there. They're a bit hard to find sometimes. But I find it funny that the people that say that also condone cheating typically, because they know they can't be loyal. Plenty of men out there honor their word, and their vows actually mean something. Oftentimes when people can't live up to specific standards, they move the goalposts, or they rewrite it, because they don't want to admit that they have no self-control themselves, so they have to justify what they're doing. They pretend fidelity is fake, and that's pathetic. You being loyal to the person you chose to commit to shows that you have standards and discipline.
And a lot of people get offended by this, but traditional women are married before 25. The reason I say that is because traditional women spend their youth on their family. That's the most important thing to them. Where modern women tend to spend their youth on themselves and then start a family later. One is not better or worse, they're just different. Traditional mothers are mothers that put the family over themselves. A modern mother is one that puts herself before the family. Traditional women believe in obeying their husbands, where modern women tend to want more of a 50-50 partnership, and they will say things like you need to negotiate with your husband. A traditional woman says whatever he says goes. If more women were brutally honest with themselves, we would figure out that most women are not meant to be mothers, because being a mother is selfless. Meaning you have to think about your husband and children before yourself. But we live in a world where women are told and enabled to put themselves first for a lifetime.
And you have men that are trying to be gentlemen. They're trying to open up doors. But modern women are, oh, you don't got to do that for me. They don't, even if they don't say that, they don't say thank you. That's the bare minimum. If somebody does something nice for you, the bare minimum is to say thank you. Hey, I appreciate it. That's the bare minimum. But modern women don't even do that now. What you can guarantee out of modern women is that they're going to act a fool at some point in time. You can't guarantee that they gonna act like they have some manner.
I've heard foreigner men not understand why American men want women to help them pay with the bills, and they're used to leading, taking care of everything, the traditional man and all that stuff.
Yeah. So over here is a little bit different because women aren't traditional. So then the man is like, well, why should I be a traditional man? If you're not traditional, you're posting booty pics, you got an OnlyFans, but you want me to protect and provide for you and pay a bulk of the bills when you got your booty cheeks up online? Nah.
So both of y'all just not traditional.
I'm saying that this woman wasn't traditional. So then the man is already socially constructed to believe in the 50-50 mindset anyway, like women empowerment. She could do it on her own. So think about it. If the feminist movement promoted woman empowerment, she can get it on her own, is not just promoting this into women, but it's promoting this to men as well, because guess what? Most men are being raised by single moms. So that's single mothers instilling this into their sons. So then the sons go out saying that, oh, my mom is doing it all, so I get with a woman that's doing it all too. The feminist movement not only indoctrinated women, but it indoctrinated men as well. So that's why those men are less masculine, less assertive, and less dominant. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of these modern women don't understand that if I have to go to work and fight battles out there, why would I want to come home to you, nagging, complaining, and starting arguments with me? That's not going to work. You know, oh, well, he likes a toxic man or a toxic woman. That might be cute in the beginning because it's like a little flair, but now the joke is over. You need to stop doing that. Quit that.
What are some boundaries that a man should have for a relationship?
I believe that men need to feel respected, feel needed. Men need to feel safe inside of their relationship, inside of their vulnerability, inside of who they are. I believe that there should be very strong boundaries around that. I think that compromise is important inside of a relationship because it's two different people coming together. Mm-hmm. However, I also feel like in order for you to be successful, you can't compromise your needs. Like we compromise our wants, but like I need oxygen in order to be able to live. Right. I need to put gas in my car in order to drive. There are certain things that are required, which I think are boundaries and standards that have to happen in order for you to get anywhere inside of a relationship. So I think that ultimately you have to know yourself. So the first boundary is self-awareness. Right? Who are you? What is it that you want? What are you going after? And then create boundaries around who it is that you want to be. Don't see yourself for who you are now. See yourself for where you're going and act that way.
I genuinely can't stand wives that say, oh, I don't do anything for my husband. He's a grown man. He can do it himself. What the are you there for? You use. Just imagine if the roles were reversed. You as a wife are working a 9 to 5 or even 12 hours a day. You come home, the dishes aren't washed, dinner isn't made, and your clothes are dirty. So you have to come home, cook your own food, wash your own dishes, clean your own area, wash your own laundry, and then on top of that, you got to shower. And you'll only get just maybe a few minutes, maybe an hour or two to yourself. And then you have to go to bed because you have to wake up early for work. You women would divorce your husbands in a heartbeat if this was the case.
And this is why I'm so confused on why so many women think that they shouldn't have to cook, clean, or work, but they'll happily demand he pay the bills. Like, what does he get out of it? You may be pretty to look at, but for a lot of men, I mean, they can go on Google and type in pretty woman, and beautiful women will pop up on his page if he just wants to look at pictures of beautiful women. Like, what are you there for then? Just like she says. Also, when you're a housewife, you get to see all of the kids first. You get to be there for them. You get to shape them. A lot of men would absolutely love to be able to spend that much time with their kids. I'm not saying being a stay-at-home wife is hard and doesn't require a lot of labor. It definitely does. It's usually, you get a lot more advantages than he does.
Women suffer when there is a lack of masculinity in the world. The strength that men are supposed to embody, the woman has to now try and harden herself or become strong in that way. You know, women have strength in a unique way. But I'm talking about the masculine strength. Mm-hmm. They need to start to embody that because the men aren't necessarily doing that. And if the feminist voice is telling you, well, you need to be just like a man, then naturally you're just going to try and be that as well. You're going to try to be the boss babe. You're going to try to be the independent woman, that woman that doesn't need to lean or trust in a man. Many people might have been hurt, disappointed, or might not have had fathers. So it becomes difficult to do that. But also you have the culture that's telling them that it's demeaning to do that. It's demeaning to be a mother and a wife and all of these things. You need to have your own career, your own money, all of this stuff. Why are you going to rely on a man? All of this stuff. But I think a lot of women are starting to move back as masculinity is being restored, because they're seeing that, why should I need to go and give all my time and work and energy to a random man who doesn't really necessarily care about me or love me or will give his life over for me, but gives me a paycheck? Why should I give everything and obey him when my husband is at home and I disrespect him and I talk to him however I want?
I need to start posting videos when I'm pretty, but I have this epiphany and I keep forgetting to post it. Some men treat you like repeatedly because they are addicted to being forgiven. Their mom and dad never accepted them. No one in their family liked them. They were the black sheep, and that didn't sit well with them, so now they just need you to...
The problem with thinking there's no good men left. So I hear a lot of women on social media talking about there's no good men left. They're talking about how bad the dating pool is and how bad the quality men on dating apps are. But my clients are following my dating app strategies and they're meeting good quality men. So the problem with thinking there are no good men left, there are many, but I want to talk about 3, and they all start with an S. For the first reason is you start to settle for guys who don't deserve you, guys who treat you badly, guys who only want you for one thing. You start to settle. The second thing is you show up negatively. When you don't believe there's any good men left, you're very suspicious of every guy, and you can't accept when a guy is treating you well, so you're just like suspicious, you come off negatively. And the third thing is you stop dating. You don't believe there's any good men left, so you give up. You get out of the dating pool when you need to stay out there. There are good men out there. And I'm Dee Dee Patterson. Join my Love and Dating Secrets Facebook group. There is something that I'm dropping this week that's going to show you exactly how to meet a good quality man.
I know so many great single women. So many great single women. I don't know where all the dudes... I'm like, guys, come on. Come on, guys. Make the first move. Come on. But man, they just...
the first move is become a great single guy. That's a big move right there.
I know. I know. But...
Guys, you will hit a home run if you find a woman with these green flags. Number 1, emotional stability. The toxic stuff gets old. Somebody who's emotionally stable, doesn't spiral, create unnecessary drama, and can actually process her emotions and respond rather than react to something that bothers her is huge. Number 2, she communicates clearly. She says what she means and she means what she says. She tells you exactly what she wants, exactly what she needs, exactly what her standards are, and she communicates it in a way that you understand. That's the major part of it. She can articulate it in a way that you get it so that you can understand one another. Last but not least, she takes accountability. Chef's kiss. She takes accountability. She says sorry. She knows when she's wrong. She accepts it. She processes the information and makes a change so that she doesn't continue to damage the relationship. If you have found somebody that takes accountability, this woman has high emotional intelligence, and you have found a gem of a woman. Because most people blame. They blame you for everything. It's always your fault. You never get out of the doghouse. And it is not always your fault. It's that the woman does not want to take accountability for her actions or her hurting the relationship.
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women, that it's better to be single, guys. They're almost like happy about the fact that they're going to make the choice to avoid the entire gender of women because they have yet to actually resolve the war they have within themselves.
When a woman looks at a man to marry, she looks at how much potential he has for change. And every woman has their own personal rehab center for their man. When a man looks at a woman to marry, he hopes she never changes. When women get married, they give up the right to be independent. When a man gets married, he gives up the right to be irresponsible. People who disagree with this are probably the ones having marriage problems.
I don't chase booty.
Go ahead, brother.
If I got to chase my wife, then I'm going to have to keep chasing her to keep her.
That's right. That's right.
You men that chase women, the moment you start chasing that woman, you're going to have to keep chasing her.
Keep it up.
That keep her. You're going to have to keep it up.
That's right.
And once she see you chasing her, she going to deliberately do things that make you run her down.
That's right.
I won't never chase a woman long as I'm black.
No.
And as far as I know, God ain't changing my color.
If you're dating a guy and he has never taken you to go eat sushi, noodles, and egg roll within the first month of dating, what's the sense in dating him? And I hope you're not sleeping with him. And he never took you to eat sushi, egg rolls, and noodles. I hope you're not sleeping with him.
Pick a woman that wants to have sex with you. Stop begging a woman to have sex with you. Stop. Why do you have to beg a woman? You don't have to beg a woman to have sex with you. When you are a king and you're ready to settle down and you're ready to find your queen and you're ready, pick a woman that wants to have sex with you, that wants to impress you, that wants you in her, that wants you inside her. When a woman wants you inside her, when a woman is yearning for you, when a woman wants you close, when a woman wants to connect with you flesh to flesh, that is the true way. That is the true signal, you know, that she really, really loves you.
Being a wife requires you to be feminine at all times. It's not an on and off. It's always on. If you are not capable of being in your feminine at all times, I would reconsider your status as a wife. I would say that you might not be wife material yet, because men naturally, heterosexual men, don't want to be in a relationship with another man. They're choosing a woman because they want the thing that they don't have. If you want to be wife material, you have to be the thing that attracts a man. And what attracts him is going to be your femininity.
Dating is hard as a single woman. It is awful. It's honestly worse than I could have ever imagined.
What?
Honestly, it was easier being single at 19 than it is as a 25-year-old. That's crazy.
Wait, why though?
I feel like guys used to have so much confidence and they'd approach you like, I don't know, when you're younger, it's just so much easier. I feel like
been rejected as much.
And now I'll go out and I'm like, woo, you know, I'm going to get some attention tonight, and no one speaks to me. And I'm like, am I the most hideous human in the world? Like,
no. Me and Cass always speak about this though. Like, we've spoken about this a lot of times, and it seems like it's an issue that's getting more and more traction. Like, it's not actually getting solved.
What do you wish more women knew about how men operated?
There's 10,000 times more going on inside the head of a man than you have any idea. He's carrying burdens that you don't have a clue about, and he don't know how to express them, and he don't know what to do about it. And he figures if he puts it out there and communicates it, he's just going to be shot down, called a fool, called weak. So he carries it inside. And you have no clue the burdens and that most men are carrying inside and not even showing you. In the night, I wish more women understood that.
That's why men are walking away from women. Not out of spite, not out of hatred, out of self-preservation. Because the state of modern women today means the juice is no longer worth the squeeze. Why? Because they compromise peace instead of multiplying it.
Actually, that claim doesn't really hold up empirically. If you look at the data, young men aren't disproportionately walking away. In fact, they're still actually more likely to report actively seeking relationships and desiring marriage than young women. This is despite the fact that most men in their 20s are single, while most women in their 20s are not. As a whole, people are turning away from the effort, risks, and responsibilities of dating and marriage and starting families, but the more robust trend is a decline in women's interest in marriage and long-term partnership, not a collapse in men's desire for it.
Jessica, I thought you were going to get the puppies today. I was. Huh? I was. I'm thinking about doing a ponytail. You think I should do a ponytail? No, what I think you need to do is explain how the little black marks got on your neck. Them hickeys. Yeah, I got a hickey. Yeah, hey, where from? School. You say that like you proud of. I got hickeys from school. Well, let me tell you something, Sister Levine. I'm going to the school in the morning, okay? I'll be checking to figure out how the math teacher did that, the reading teacher, the gym teacher, some little boy around the corner, you just happen to bump into his lips and he's like, get out of here, Sister Levine. Get your out of here. Oh, you know, I was in here first. This is what you I don't give a... Here, let me put your hair in the ponytail.
You want a traditional man, you would have to show me a traditional woman. And those don't exist anymore. You want to get grandmom treatment, but grandmom was low maintenance. That's another thing that they don't want to talk about. Grandma wasn't walking around with $700 bust downs. Mm-hmm. Grandma wasn't walking around with Birkins on. Mm-hmm. Grandma wasn't walking around with Louis Vuitton shoes that are only made for European women. So when you put your 190 frame on them, your feet are in pain. They only built for women that are 110 pounds. Grandma also didn't need trips to Turks and Caicos and everywhere else. She didn't need any of that. Grandma was cool with you bringing the groceries home and with the bills being paid, which a lot of these modern day women would call the bare minimum, which is insanity to me, because anybody that's paying all of the bills and bringing the groceries home, that's a maximum because you don't have to do it. So then we go a little bit deeper into it. Grandma never confused her role as being a woman.
So a man on Tinder has to swipe right 200 times to get one match, and then 4 of the 5 coffees will ghost him because their filter kicks in again. So half of millennial men say they are no longer dating. They're no longer even trying. It used to be family, friends, and school, how you met people. Now it's 70% online. And when they're not going to church, not going to softball league, not going into work, men have very few venues to demonstrate excellence. What you find with these couples is the woman says, I wasn't interested in him, but then I found out he's really kind.
Totally.
I like the way he smelled. He made me laugh. And I started getting attracted to him. How do you demonstrate excellence as a man when there's no venues where you're around other people for extended periods of time? You want to punch above your weight class romantically? Get used to rejection. I can't tell you the amount of rejection I've endured from women. And that's the reason I'm with somebody who's much hotter than me.
Girl, do you not realize how bad you're up right now? Seriously, he is trying all he can to show you that he loves you and that he's there for you, trying to be your shoulder to cry on through all your overthinking and your crazy moments. And you're pushing him away. For what? He's so rare to come by. Guys who actually give up are so rare to come by, and you're just pushing this one away like he's nothing. Why? Everybody I know, they always ask, where are the good guys at? Hun, he's right in front of you. Don't get up. If you love him like you tell him you do, then show it. Don't keep pushing him aside, because all that's gonna do is make him think that he's not appreciated. It's just gonna show him that no matter what he does, it's not gonna matter, because he's gonna get played. That's when you train boys. Don't ruin a good guy because you're too selfish to realize it.
So I posted about how I don't mind approaching a man if I like what I see. And then a bunch of men wanted to comment, oh, I wish a woman would approach me, blah, blah, blah. And no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because you wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, do you understand? You would be wondering how many men I've approached. You would be pondering how many phone numbers I have in my phone. Like, you would not be able to know what rest is. Your insecurities would eat you alive if I approached you. Like, I just, I don't really think people think fully when they say things. Because a woman that will approach a man will do whatever she wants to do. That's so dangerous. Y'all don't think all the way.
The more you ask your man to help around the house, the less of a provider he can be. Many women complain about how they need help with the laundry, the dishes, the cleaning. All of those little things are a part of overseeing the household. But he was not designed for that, my queen. Now, before you come at me like, I have a full-time job too, Ashley. Okay, I get that. But if your goal is for him to be the main provider of the home, you have to create space for him to do that. Because every time you give him an extra menial task, that takes away his energy to build, hunt, and bring provision. That is what he was created for. Those are the things that give him purpose, and what brings more freedom later. I know, times are tough, and it's not easy, but you can handle a lot more than you think. Trust me, it's gonna save your marriage in the long run. And I'm here to help you draw out that provider energy in your man. I created a course specifically for that, so the sacrifices you make now turn into more connection and harmony later. Click the link in my bio for access.
This is interesting. This is a good take. I like this conversation starter, Commander. Hats off to you. I recently saw a video of a guy who said any time a woman has approached him, he has realized that she is a man-eater. So, what are your thoughts on that? A woman should always approach the man? I think I'm a little bit old-fashioned, but it really doesn't matter what I think. I'm married. It doesn't matter. But I'd like to know other people's opinions. Actually, I'd even like to know the married people's opinions. I don't agree. I feel like the man should be the one that approaches. But again, you have all those people that are like, ew, I don't want a man to talk to me. Same. But also, what are we thinking? This is interesting.
Sis, you keep saying that he's distant and he's quiet and he's not trying anymore. But he didn't start out this way. That man used to show up and plan things and talk and laugh and share. But somewhere along the way, he realized that no matter what he did, it was never enough to you. Every effort was met with criticism. Every opinion he had got dismissed. Every mistake was magnified. So that man learned to go silent. It's not because he didn't care. It's because he got tired of playing the villain in the story that he was trying to fix. You see, men don't always leave loud. They leave quietly, emotionally, piece by piece. And then one day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize he's not angry anymore. He's just indifferent. And once he becomes indifferent, that's the point of no return. He stopped fighting. And it wasn't because he stopped loving you. It's because he realized that you love the idea of changing him more than the idea of loving him for who he already was. He didn't shut down overnight. He shut down every time he felt unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. And by the time he left, his heart had already been gone for a long time. He didn't stop loving you. He just got tired of having to prove that he did.
Today we have 2026 strict dating rules for guys. And violation of any of these rules is grounds for immediate termination. We're not playing around this year, guys. We're all down to business. Rule number 1, has a bad day more than 25% of the year. You're gone. What are you sad all the time for? Rule number 2, Miami, Nashville, Mexico trip without you. Safe travels, you're gone. Rule number 3, out on any body of water when she doesn't own a boat. Bon voyage, because whose boat are you on? If it ain't mine. Number 4, any form of Botox, you're gone. Number 5, you're f***ed and you fell asleep. Cap, you're gone. Ain't no girl letting her phone. They're glued to their hand like it's a part of their body, like they're born with it. So don't believe that this year. Rule number 6, won't block her ex. Blocked and gone. Rule number 7, is or was in a sorority. Self-explanatory. And rule number 8, all her friends are guys. See ya, never. These are strict rules for you guys out here this year. Gonna help you stay safe and get into a better situation if you follow these rules. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today, and I'll see you at the same time again tomorrow.
So I actually do understand why men seek out red pill content, specifically when they're lonely and trying to pursue women and they're struggling with that. Because, and I'm serious, red pill is full of autistic men who break things down ultra specifically. Like in a way that neurotypical men and women simply do not, because this is not their special interest and they're not as hyper-focused on it. There's actually not a ton of women out there giving super actionable, practical advice to men on how to pursue women. They do give advice like, okay, be romantic, give her flowers, respect her boundaries, no means no. That is actionable and practical, but that does not teach someone how to catch a woman. Unfortunately, there's a lot of women out there saying, just be yourself and the right woman will come along. Well, first of all, that's not always true. Second of all, a lot of people shouldn't be themselves. A lot of people are unsettling or stinky or rude in ways that they do not even realize because it has not been spelled out for them. Now, am I saying red pill content is good? No! What gets the audience in the door will lead to misogyny and blatant disrespect of women, can lead to real harm of women. And I do not support that or understand that. But I will say I understand what gets men in the door. From what I've seen in all my days, women are not making the kind of super practical and specific content that certain men need in order to better themselves.
So where are the men? Where do y'all hang out? Let me rephrase that question and be a little bit more specific. Where are all the good men? I'm talking about men who aren't intimidated by independent women, men who respect women with high standards instead of calling them too picky. Men who are emotionally mature, that they know how to communicate and not play any games. And also men who are actually looking for a real connection instead of a situationship or just attention. I'm a pretty normal person. I'm kind. I do fun activities. I'm pretty social. I recently just joined a pickleball club. I actually met someone who's totally my type, but he is taken. He's not available in the market. So I'm kind of convinced that all the good men are taken in long-term relationships or married. I'm also convinced all the good men are not on dating apps because they could just get into a relationship super easily in real life. Why would they be on the apps? So if you're one of the men with the qualities that I'm looking for, please let me know where I can meet y'all in the comments. Thank you.
I only date marriage material. Not because I'm picky, but because I'm purposeful. I don't date for attention or validation. I date for alignment. And who I entertain impacts my peace, focus, and my future, so I take it serious. Chemistry fades, but character lasts. You know, leadership, consistency, emotional maturity, that's the fruits that I need. And I'm not just about to vibe with a situationship. I'm building towards partnership. I need a man who prays, who leads, who communicates, and treats me like an investment, not entertainment. Don't expect me to pour into what isn't rooted in purpose. I'm not rushing marriage in any way. I'm just intentional about the path. And how you date determines the love that you build. Random energy cannot interrupt divine alignment. Call it picky if you want. The real problem was being available to the wrong people, being nurturing to the wrong people. So I will wait for alignment and not settle for attention. The man that God has for me, he won't debate my standards. He will match them. And when he finds me, he will meet a woman who has already been preparing for the wife she prayed to become.
Let me tell you something that some women don't realize until it's too late. You see, there's a kind of man that you don't replace. You can't replace. You remember him. Not because he was flashy, not because he was loud, but because he was consistent. He showed up when life was ugly. He protected your peace when he didn't have to. He loved you quietly without performing for the internet. And you see, the mistake is thinking that that kind of man would always be there. You see, men like that don't beg. They don't argue and they don't move in circles. They don't compete for your attention. They just withdraw. And one day when you wake up and you realize that that attention is gone, the safety is gone, the calm is gone, and you realize that you're surrounded by men who talk a lot but don't do anything, that's when you realize the mistake that you've made. But it's often too late.
You were never meant to beg a man for love and commitment. When are we going to be official? When is he going to commit to me? Let me remind you of something real quick. For centuries, it was men showing up, begging for the opportunity to court and then marry you. It wasn't him test driving you for 5 years like you're a used car. Well, he decides and he wonders if he's ready to step up. It wasn't him ordering Ubers at 11:30 p.m. on a Thursday night to have you come over like you're a FedEx package. It was not him saying, let's just see where it goes. bang you and 3 other women without stepping up and making a commitment. It was him showing up ready and intentional to court and marry you. You're not built to wait years on end and cry over a guy while he decides about you. You're built to be a queen and for a man to show up and be intentional about you. History says so. History says you're the prize. History says men chase you, and history says men prove themselves. So how about you step in line with your history and you treat yourself like the queen you're built to be?
But he actually is the voice of reason here. Saying, well, wait a minute, if he's doing all, what? See, these sisters, and you know what's funny about it? You hear some sisters and they're advocates. You hear brothers like Just Mike. I'm not saying him personally, but brothers like them. You know what I'm talking about on social media. You got a lot of brothers on social media doing the Just Mike thing. That is to say, advocating for sisters no matter if they right or wrong. And they'll say words to this effect. These guys want wifely treatment without getting a wife. Okay, fair enough. I'll go along with that. That's fair. You can't expect a sister to cook every day if she ain't your wife. She might do something here and there. If she feel like it, she really like you like that, she might do some special occasion. Cool. Can you expect that on a daily? No. Why? Because she's not your wife. That's fair. Here's the problem. A lot of sisters want brothers to be husbands without really being a husband. Now you want a sister, you want a brother to cover you, give you a covering. That's called getting married. See, in a situation like that, then yeah, that would be the husband's responsibility. The wife needs, a car, oil change, whatever. Yeah, the husband's supposed to take care of that. I think everybody would agree that, yeah. And so on. But y'all ain't married though. I don't even see a ring on that woman's hand. I don't see no wedding engagement ring on that woman's hand. And yet and still, the brother still came up with a C note.
Ladies, here's the thing. We want men to be husbands. We want the rings and the things. But family, we cannot advocate for marriage without addressing the full picture, the elephant in the room. Women aren't bred to be wives today. Past generations have raised us up to pursue a career. Forget the man. He's an afterthought. Because when the man act up, you have an out, that degree that you can fall back on. And now, family, we have women who have been bred to be more of a husband than a wife. Let's keep it real. What is society teaching us? Look at the propaganda. Look at the social media. We can't continue to come at men for their lack of commitment, but not also state the obvious. There's a shortage of women worth making long-term or lifelong commitments to. We aren't training up wives. We're training up hypersexual, petty, money-hungry, cannot take any accountability, insecure, immature, women that can't even cover a pot, let alone a man. Women with the mentality that anything goes as long as I'm making $1 from it. Hyper-independent, attention-seeking, career-obsessed, not nurturing, selfish, girlfriend at best women. We want men to lock things down. And I agree, men should. But we gotta give them something worth committing to. And our media isn't pushing that agenda. It's keeping us single. So family, ladies, stop buying the lies of culture. That's what's keeping us single. Let us start focus on becoming the wife that God has created you to be.
And, once again, when you see, how these modern women act, this is what men mean when they talk about the bad attitudes, the double standards. I'm expecting the man to lead. I'm expecting the man to pay, to protect, to provide, to stay calm. Not honestly and truly, I want you to be vulnerable, but I really don't want you to have emotions like that. You're expecting me to do all of that. But then when I do that, then you call me insecure. You call me controlling. Somehow I'm all of a sudden a problem to you when you're just undisciplined. You don't want nobody talking to you.